Ladies and gentlemen, Six Fig Stock Trader here from YouTube. In today's video, we are going to be covering Ergo. But before we do, check me out on Twitter at Real6Fig. This is where I'm dropping links to live streams, upcoming videos, charts when I can't make it to my computer to draw you up a nice video. I dropped a video earlier on ERGO which is a new project launchpad being built on the Ergo blockchain. Their goal is to bring high quality dApps into the Ergo ecosystem, which will basically improve price. So if you haven't already, check out my video that I did on ERGO. Let's move on over to the charts. People are probably asking themselves, when can I stop dollar cost averaging in? As if it's a bad thing. Well, we might be at a significant point where Ergo is getting ready to turn around. This is the daily chart. We can see that price action is still kind of floating pretty far away from the cloud. We don't have a 200 moving average, so let's see if we can get a 150-day moving average. Bear with me one second. Looks like we've got a little snippet of a 200 moving average, which is interesting because we're seeing price action really far away from this 200 moving average. So I do think that there might be a chance that this thing is gearing up for a retest of at least this 200 moving average. Price action is floating pretty far away from the cloud. So let's really get into this and use some real high-end analytical tools. We can see that just by throwing up a Fibonacci retracement, we have seen price action retrace all the way down to this 127% level. This is a very powerful level, especially when we deploy this on longer time frames. So this is a great level for price action to reverse at. I do think that there might be a chance Ergo is getting ready to pull a little bit of a reversal. Now, I can't seem to get if Ergo is in this falling wedge type pattern or if we are in more of a descending triangle pattern. But I do think that the descending triangle pattern is more likely. And we've really been hammering at this $4.90, $4.70 level since early mid-December, December 11th-ish. We've just been basically trading sideways. That's better than going down. I do think that right now, Ergo does have a chance to pull a reversal off this lower trend line and at least come up and retest this 50 moving average, which also shares space with this trend line here. So we can see that this trend line is basically skewering this 50 moving average. So it would be nice to see price action bounce and maybe run up to around the $6-ish level. There's going to be some things that stand in our way. If price action goes to the upside, we have to deal with this very large, very thick Ichimoku cloud, and that's after we deal with the 50 moving average. So if price action can squeeze into here a little bit, we might see some thinner parts of the Ichimoku cloud develop that will allow price action to pass through, like in this thinner part here, easier. So if we see this thing pass through the cloud, it's going to possibly get rejected by the cloud, sending things back downwards. So I do think that if it does pass through the cloud completely, Ergo has more support than we actually realize. But I do think that for now, it might be safe to say that, okay, this thing's ready for a little squeeze, a little bump up to at least this 50 moving average. I really want to go ahead and check this thing out on an hourly level. And we can really see that there might even be even more of a squeeze than we actually think. So let's just look at this. Okay, so my opinion here is that we may see a little run up here by January, I'll say January 9th, 10th, somewhere in there. And I want to just throw down, might scoot over to a 4-hour chart. I want to just go ahead and throw down a little Fibonacci time sequence. So we'll measure from this high here, thinking right down to this low here. Interestingly enough, you can see that in hindsight, we pulled a reversal right here, meaning the bleeding stop, price action was barreling down. This Fibonacci time sequence arrives, boom, pull the reversal, stop the bleeding. So interestingly enough, we are seeing this time sequence appear January 27th around 6 p.m. Central Time, give or take 6 hours. So that might be an important date to really kind of keep in mind for ERGO. So with that said, let's just say that this is the bottom. And let's just paint a picture of what might happen should we start going to the upside. Well, we're going to get rid of all of this. And the one thing that I want to just take a peek at is the possibility of some sort of, inverse head and shoulders, something like this. I want to start seeing some Elliott wave theory move, or some progression, some impulse waves to the upside, just like we saw here. And people, man, we saw this thing 3x from August 5th up to August 24th. Incredible. So it doesn't take much time for ERGO to really start pumping. With that said, I do think that we may end up with a very nice head and shoulders, inverse head and shoulders pattern if we can pull a reversal here. If not, a cup and handle. Maybe early into this spring, we might see some higher highs here, which would be nice for a change. But until we break this pattern, I do think that we are in some trouble. And I really want to just illustrate, folks, how important it is for price action right now to break this trend line. This is the downward trend line that is holding ERGO from progressing upwards. So if we can just kind of break right through this, I think we're going to be sitting good. I'll just take a peek on the 12-hour chart here. Bear with me 1 second. And I want to just go ahead and throw this back to a 200 and see what pops up here. Okay, so when we look at the 12-hour chart, it's a little bit different than the daily, but it is kind of painting the same story price-wise. If price action came up and really reacted with that 150 moving average that I was showing you guys earlier on the daily, we can see that right now the conversion line is underneath the baseline. We're trading parallel, meaning that these things are both riding sideways. If we see this conversion line start to arc upwards, instantly price action is going to really crush over the 50 moving average. But I do think that we might see some Elliott wave impulses right up to this 200 moving average. And let's just go ahead and just kind of draw a trend line like this. So I do think that this might be key for price action to really sneak through maybe this thinner part here of the Ichimoku cloud on the 12-hour chart. So I think things are looking good for ERGO as long as we don't go below $4.70. I do think that if we can get some momentum to the upside, let's just see where we might see some resistance. $8.20, kind of what I was thinking, right in this $8, $7 level. $10, $12, $13, $16, and $19.45. Now, let's just say Bitcoin completely wrecks the market. We need to be prepared for another corrective wave. You can see that this Elliott wave theory run up here happened. We got the ABC correction, but what I'm worried could happen is that this thing could really fill out to be an ABCDE corrective wave to the downside. And you're probably wondering, okay, well, if this thing breaks this $4.70 level, how low are we going to go? Let's just find that out. I would say $3. That is right down to where this 127% level is. So we may be seeing at that point a more defined falling wedge shaking out on the chart. So I hope you guys learned a little bit about ERGO's prices and the potential it has. I'm hoping that we get this inverse head and shoulders to the upside. It's looking right now that could be the case as long as Bitcoin doesn't wreck us. So hopefully we don't see this next leg of a corrective wave to the downside. to $3. So with that said, folks, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I wanted to just give a huge shout out to all the Patreons. Thank you guys for supporting the channel. If you guys are interested in supporting the channel, it's $3 a month. Get your name, YouTube channel name, or business name up on this banner. Big shout out to Urban Hick. He's kind of the guy that at the beginning really started putting the ergo bug in my ear, probably like 3 or 4 or 5 months ago. So hope you guys all have a wonderful day wherever you're at in the world. We'll see you guys on the next video.